What it do, what it do, what it do? Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yeah.
What it do, what it do, what it do, Half and J family. Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yes.
It's your boy Half.
And your girl Jay.
And we
Hey.
back
With another reaction video.
All right, y'all, man. So we back over here in the building, man. About to give y'all another legendary reaction.
Yes.
So with that being said, let them know who we're gonna react to today.
We are reacting to Don Lemon. And I'll just say it.
Okay.
Don Lemon calls Larry Elder and Uncle Tom gets destroyed by Larry.
So he's calling Larry an Uncle Tom. Wow. This should be very interesting right here.
Right.
Let's hurry up and get into this one. So look, before we do, everybody that's out there who has not yet subscribed to the channel,
Yes.
go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Turn your post notifications on.
Yes.
Like and share this video.
Yes.
Man, comment down below. Hey, look. Come and join the squad, man. Half and J.
We over
We over here
kicking off what?
Good vibes, baby. Good vibes.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so y'all ready for it? Let's go, man. I'm ready for this one. Let me see what the hell he got to say.
Woo.
So last night, I get an email from a friend who says, "Did you watch the Don Lemon show on CNN last night?" I'd rather stick needles in my eyeballs. No, I didn't watch the Don Lemon show. The only time I watch the Don Lemon show is when I know that Dennis Prager's going to be on. And it turns out Dennis Prager was on. And the issue was this hysteria over Donald Trump. And eventually the discussion was whether or not Donald Trump's presidency has unleashed anti-Semitism and racism in America. And of course, Prager thought it was nonsense. But then a very interesting thing happened. Prager invoked the name of the great Eldersky and said, well, Larry Elder happened to be black, and the only reason I'm mentioning that is because it's relevant for the conversation, and he doesn't believe that Donald Trump has unleashed racism and anti-Semitism, and then I got called a few names by Mr. Lemon.
We have plenty of Trump supporters on the air all the time. You're one of them, and you're on the air now.
Right, fine. I think that's terrific. I didn't talk about you, but I think the ratio, Larry Elder, a colleague of mine, who happens to be black, I think it's only relevant because we're talking about racism here, and doesn't think Trump has unleashed racism, did a CNN analysis. And
just because he's black, it doesn't mean that he is aware, and it doesn't mean that he is smart.
Oh, he's very aware. He's one of the brightest guys I know.
It doesn't also mean that he is not co-opted by certain things, and that he doesn't reap the benefits of us having...
Not co-opted by certain things? What the bleep does that even mean? Let me tell you what it means. Don Lemon was calling me Uncle Tom, but he's smart enough to know that calling me Uncle Tom might get him suspended if not fired. So he needed another word, but that's what he meant. And what Dennis was saying is, of the pundits that were used either pro-Trump or anti-Trump on CNN, and Don Lemon cut him off, 96 of them were anti-Trump. 7 of them were pro-Trump. That's the point Dennis was trying to get in when Mr.
Wait. What did he say?
Saying is, of the pundits that were used either pro-Trump or anti-Trump on CNN, and Don Lemon cut him off, 96 of them were anti-Trump. 7 of them were pro-Trump. That's the point Dennis was trying to get in when Mr. Lemon cut him off.
We have plenty of Trump supporters on the air all the time. You're one of them, and you're on the air now.
Right, fine. I think that's terrific. I didn't talk about you, but I think the ratio, Larry Elder, a colleague of mine, who happens to be black, I think it's only relevant because we're talking about racism here, and doesn't think Trump has unleashed racism, did a CNN analysis. And
just because he's black, it doesn't mean that he is aware, and it doesn't mean that he is smart.
Oh, he's very aware. He's one of the brightest guys I know.
It doesn't also mean that he is not co-opted by certain things, and that he doesn't reap the benefits of us having...
Now let's talk a little bit about Mr. Lemon, shall we? I was asked by a radio station earlier, did I did it bother me what he said. And I'm reminded about an exchange that took place in the book called The Fountainhead, Ayn Rand. And the hero of the book, Howard Rourke, was asked how he felt about somebody. Peter Keating was the guy that asked him, and they were kind of rivals. And Peter Keating said of Mr. Rourke, "What do you think of me?" And he said, "I don't."
Wow.
And that's how I feel about lightweights like Don Lemon and Mark Lamont Hill and Michael Eric Dyson. They're all the same. These are all educated people, tenured people in the cases of the ones that are at colleges, making six figures, perhaps even more than that, sitting around bitching and moaning and whining about how bad things are for other people. See, they were able to make it. Somehow, the thicket of racism, they were able to navigate through that. Somehow, they were able to cut down and deal with all of the institutional, systemic, structural racism that holds everybody else back. Didn't hold them back, of course, because they're talented, lucky. What's the analysis here? And I think it was the last time I was on Don Lemon's show, I happened to quote a poll that was taken by an organization called, I can't think of the name of the organization, I thought of the name of the organization, it's called CNN. CNN timed a poll in 1997, that's 20 years ago. They asked both black teens and white teens the following question: is racism a major problem in America? Not too surprisingly, both the black teens and white teens said yes. But then they asked the following question of black teens: is racism a big problem, a minor problem, or no problem in your own daily lives? 89% of the black teens said it was a little problem or no problem in my own daily life. And this is a real bombshell takeaway. Twice as many black teens as whites said failure to take advantage of available opportunities is a bigger problem than racism. End of quote. That's a time seeing.
Woo!
Damn.
Whoa.
So they're saying, like blacks wasn't taking advantage of their opportunities, and,
Opportunity,
you know what I'm
right.
saying, things like that, right? That's what the
And I know I'm looked at how I'm looked at. I don't even care. I don't care at this point.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Okay.
A lot of black people have taken advantage of their opportunities, which is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not good with the numbers of, you know, the percentages of how many black people are on welfare.
Right.
Or, you know, but I just know what I've been around,
Your life.
my life.
Right. Your experience.
My experience.
Right.
And I know a lot of people that I know have been on welfare.
Right.
And didn't take advantage of their resources or even going to school.
Because really the welfare is an opportunity for you to do something though. It's not there for you to live
to rely
off of.
on it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be going to look for the jobs.
Right.
They give you, things like that to help you
to
basically get off of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a stepping stone
Right.
to get you to that next level if you need the help.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a lot of people who are dependent on it and, have lived their lives comfortably off of
for years.
And
just have babies just to stay on it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why they cut.
And just to get a little bit more, work a part-time job and keep that as a cushion.
Right.
And I mean, that's my reality. I don't care what nobody tells me. I've seen this for so many years.
Right.
So.
Right.
And it's just the truth. Yeah. Racism didn't hold a lot of us back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't the reason why we didn't advance to the next level. We just didn't take that opportunity to get there.
Right.
You know?
And they always say if you was born down in the South, you may have ran into more racism down there than you would
right.
West Coast, California, and things like that. Right. So, yeah.
Opportunities is a bigger problem than racism. End of quote. That's a Time CNN poll 20 years ago. And you're telling me now racism is greater now than it was 20 years ago after the election and re-election of a black president?
And it's not.
You see, victocrats like Don Lemon think that they're advancing the cause when in fact they're hurting the cause. They are enabling people like my friend Muhammad, not his real name, I grew up with Paul, knowing him since the second grade. Great athlete. He was a starting point guard for the high school basketball team. He was the best pitcher for the baseball team. He picked up a tennis racket, fooled around with it for 2 weeks, tried out, and made the tennis team. He was the quarterback of the football team. He was the greatest prep athlete I had ever seen. We were very good friends. I graduate from high school. I go to college. I come back, and my friend has changed his name from Paul to Muhammad. He's thrown away all his trophies, thrown away all of his stuff. And now he's going to be a warrior for the cause. You see, here's what happened. When Muhammad would be late for practice, as he was all the time, he never got benched. One time he was really late, and as the coach was finally berating him in front of the other players, Muhammad slowly took off his jersey, threw it in the coach's face, and the coach started him the next game. However, when the coaches came, Notre Dame, UCLA, Marquette, all the big ones came, Duke, to scout him, the coach had to be honest because the coach's reputation's on the line. And he told all these schools, he's a coach killer. He's the kind of guy who will disrupt the atmosphere, and you will not win with this guy, even though he's a great player. Bye-bye Notre Dame. Bye-bye UCLA. Bye-bye USC. He ended up going to a very small, non-basketball-oriented college, and he was pissed. So he sat around, smoking dope, going to practice late, and I never got it straight whether he quit the team or whether the coach kicked him off. But believe me, he is sitting in his home right now where we grew up, still bitching and moaning and whining about the white man. Now, when I came back from college, I went to visit him, and he's doing all this stuff with me, and I said, whoa, whoa. You're talking to somebody who's known you since the second grade. Whatever the white man did to you, he did to me. We had the same teachers, same classes, same schools. How come I'm successful and you're not? You may tell these people up in your neighborhood where you're sitting around and whining to them and they're listening to you. That might work for them, but not for me. I've known your butt.
I gotta stop it.
I was gonna stop it too.
It's a cop out. It's a cop out, and it's just plain laziness.
It is. But see, now let's turn the table around though, right? Let's say that someone, like, let's say for example, like Jay-Z, right? You know how he was carrying himself before now. Like now he be wearing suits and stuff like that, like that, you know what I mean? But before he was coming in with the chains on, you know what I mean? So, do you think someone would hire a black man coming in dressed in normal street attire, not no suit, tie, stuff like that, just because that's who he is?
Who he is,
right?
How he was raised.
Or do you think that they will hire the other black person who comes in with the tie on, you know, nice and, you know what I mean? Cut, haircut, and all that type of stuff. Which one you think they will hire?
The clean cut.
The clean cut.
Yeah.
So, but now would you consider that being a racist? You see what I'm saying? Because the person who did not get hired, he would probably consider them being racist.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
But I understand where Larry Elder is coming from because they went to the same school. They've known each other. But the coach was putting his reputation on the line.
Right.
He was letting him slide for so many, so many games, and for him to keep it real, telling the other coaches about his attendance and just all that about him, it made him feel a kind of way. Right. So he changed his name and everything and just gave up. Like, how do you do that? Right. When this man he's let you slide, but you're willing to, you want him to jeopardize his
career.
Career.
Right. Because of
mistakes you made.
That you was making, right? Yeah. Because he was coming in late and stuff like that. Right. And he knew that.
That's not right.
Right.
And whining to them, and they're listening to you. That might work for them, but not for me. I've known your butt since the second grade. Anything that happened to you happened to me, and therefore it's on you. You made choices. You showed up late. You had an attitude. And it turns out that my friend Muhammad was the first boy I knew who did not live with both his mother and father. His father and his mother got divorced when he was very young. He had a bad relationship with his dad. And it goes to show you one more time about the foundation that's necessary in order for somebody to succeed. He didn't have that kind of foundation, but he was still angry. He still made bad choices, and he ended up where he's at. But instead of accepting responsibility, blaming the white man, and people like Don Lemon and Mark Lamont Hill and Michael Eric Dyson and Eric Holder, all this cabal of whiners are enabling people like my friend to cop out and blame other people. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. And I'm sick of it. I'm Larry Elder.
Call in.
Woo.
And we don't have time for charlatans, and we don't have time for flim-flam. What?
The following has been rated PC for politically correct. Pay attention, you just may learn something.
It's the Sage Larry Elder.
You know what gets me about some of these guys? I was on a Chicago radio station this morning, and somebody called in from Naperville, Illinois, and referred to me as a house Negro. And on and on and on. Finally, when he came up for air, I said, may I ask you why I'm a house Negro? And he goes, well, that's because you are saying things the white man, blah, 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 blah. And I said, if I were a white racist, I would have to pay people like you to denounce people like me. I'd have to encourage people like you to denounce people like me. And you do it for free. If Elder is right, and the welfare state has destroyed the black family, has created a situation where now 73% of black kids are born outside of wedlock. And along comes somebody like Elder and says, hey, there's a connection between that and the welfare state. We need to rethink the welfare state. I would want somebody like you to shut him up. I'd have to pay somebody like you to shut him up. If Elder is right, that minimum wage laws have destroyed opportunities for unskilled young black people, and it's true that at one time a black teenager was more likely to have a job than a white teenager, and along comes Elder and says, let's get rid of minimum wage, I would want somebody like you to call him up and call him an Uncle Tom and call him a coon. If Elder is right, that these inner city schools have the worst teachers because there's something called the turkey trot or the dance of a lemon, so that the worst teachers, when parents complain, they send them to another district where parents don't complain, and as a result, you have some of the worst teachers working in areas where the best teachers are needed. True. And somebody like Elder comes along and says, parents need vouchers so that their kids can get into a school that's safer and where the teachers are better and where the parents care more about education. And along comes Elder, and Elder says, I support this. I would want somebody like you to call him up, denounce him, call him an Uncle Tom, discourage him from having any kind of credibility so that other people don't rethink their allegiance to the Democratic Party that are in bed with the teachers union that don't want vouchers. I would want somebody like you to call him. So please, you are doing the bidding of white racists in America, and I'm a coon, I'm an Uncle Tom. It's absurd. So when I get calls from people like this, notice they never say I'm factually wrong. You and Thomas Sowell are factually wrong when you talked about the labor force participation rate. They don't say that. You and Thomas Sowell.
So you're talking about Thomas Sowell. Wow.
This is deep.
Yeah.
We have so much to learn.
Yeah.
Third. So when I get calls from people like this, notice they never say I'm factually wrong. You and Thomas Sowell are factually wrong when you talked about the labor force participation rate. They don't say that. You and Thomas Sowell are factually wrong when you talk about the census shows that between 1890 and 1940 or so, black couples were slightly more likely to be married than white couples. As a result, black kids were slightly more likely to be brought into the world with nuclear intact families than whites in those days. They don't say I'm factually wrong. Call me a bunch of names. And this is why there's no self-criticism and self-evaluation and self-reflection within the black community to the degree that there should be.
That's the
Because
truth.
anybody that suggests maybe a different way or a different approach, different assumptions, is shouted down, called all sorts of names. It's juvenile.
It is.
It's preschool. And all it does is make things worse because assumptions are not challenged. And 95% of the black people go down like lemmings and pull that lever for the Democratic Party that does not want...
Oh, my goodness. I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much. The sad thing is, as black people, we have been pacified. Seriously. And I'm just keeping it real. I don't care. I don't care.
Right.
At this point, I don't care. We have been pacified after slavery. It's just the truth.
Right.
You know, everything has to be hush-hush, or, you know, everything has to be supported. There's, like he said, no
Responsibility.
yeah, we're not. I'm just seeing things in a whole new light right now.
Right.
He just sparked something in me. Like, it's the truth. And when you think outside of how the black community thinks, you're gonna get called an Uncle Tom, whitewashed, just all these names because because when you wake up and take responsibility for yourself, you're going to get called out for it, and that's sad in our community.
And we're not saying in all cases is that way, because there are in some cases that there is some racist things going on that will
a lot of racist things.
Yeah, well, we'll hold a lot of people back, blacks, Mexicans.
Right. I've experienced it. Right. You know,
it can be a black man in power somewhere, and a white person be coming in trying to get a job, and he may feel some type of way about a white person and not hire that person.
Right. So, my son, Tyler, he didn't get hired because of his hair texture at a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was racist, I feel.
Right.
He was dressed nicely. The only thing that they had a problem with was his hair.
Right.
He's black.
Right.
That's how he wore his hair.
That's what made me say about that Jay-Z thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. That was racist.
Yeah.
But
100% of black people.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I forgot what I was about to say.
Okay.
It sparked something in me, though.
Go down like lemmings and pull that lever for the Democratic Party that does not want choice in schools, that wants to raise the minimum wage to $15. Are you kidding me? Even Joe Biden's economist, Jared Bernstein, says $15 an hour is too high and it would hurt people. Is this thing on? But I'm a bad guy. I'm an Uncle Tom. It's juvenile and it's counterproductive and makes things worse.
It does.
I think
it does.
Minimum wage of $15 an hour to me is too low. In my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think minimum wage should be on the average to balance out the price of living.
Right, which will never happen.
Right, but that's what I think is especially in California, because California
it's high.
It's an expensive state to live in. You know what I'm saying? So, but now when you go back east and things like that, the price of living is lower, so your minimum wage will equate a little different than from it is in Cali. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get a 2-bedroom out there for $800-900 a month. You feel me? But in Cali, you're looking at $2,200, $2,100, $1,800, $1,900. You know what I mean? So why not raise the minimum wage to where it's kind of leveling out with
but that's where the world is set up. It's set up that way because that's why you have these different classes of people. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to be on a equal pay scale or caliber. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never, I feel it's never going to be equated because of
I get it, but it's kind of like, how do an 18, 19-year-old go out there and get a job and live on their own, you know, if minimum wage is $13, $14 an hour and rent is $2,000 a month.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's the way the world is set up.
I don't know. But anyway, y'all let us know what y'all think. Leave a comment down below. Anything else you want to add?
No. I got a lot to think about.
All right, so let's jump into some shout-outs then.
Okay. First shout-out goes to Sam Demings. What's up, Sam Demings?
Sam Demings, what's going on, man? Shout out to you. Thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate you. Leave your comments down below. Let us know how you feel about this topic.
Yes.
And come back and join us for some more.
Woo. Second shout-out goes to Jim Mullen. What's up, Jim Mullen?
Jim Mullen, what's going on with you, man? Shout out to you.
Yes.
Hope you enjoyed this topic, man. Let us know what you think about it. Leave your comment down below. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And come back and join us for some more.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
We out this thing.
We out this thing.
Peace.
Peace.